let me explain what the problem is with regular visualizations, guided visualizations, and so on. I started doing that sort of work when I was a teenager. And like most people do, I picked up a book, went, oh, this is great, started trying it out. And some things worked fantastic, you know. I could relax so well that my mattress needed to be replaced because I was falling through to the floor constantly. Other things did not work at all. And I was always puzzled by this. Now, the reason that I think that was happening, and I think hopefully those of you, how many of you have done visualizations and guided visualizations before and so on? So let me just map out some of the difficulties or some of the problems that you may have experienced, and please let me know whether or not this matches your experiences. Number one, some of them are just impossible to do. Some of the things you have to try and visualize are so detailed and complex. It's like, what the heck? How am I supposed to do that, right? By the end of today, you will be able, well, actually, no, sorry, again. By the end of tomorrow, by the end of today should be the point, but by the end of tomorrow, definitely, you should be able to visualize things as proficiently as a yogi who's been sitting in a cave for the last 20 years doing it. I kid you not. Some of you won't necessarily get to that point at the end of the day because you may have to spend more of the stuff we're doing today to build the mental muscle, shall we speak. But once that mental muscle is built, then the problem will not be turning it on, it'll be turning it off, which is why we're building another mental muscle afterwards, which will be your off switch. Does that make sense, everyone? Second problem. You do these wonderful visualizations, and they usually go something along the lines of this, you know, and there's the cave of dreams, and the fairy queen bestows a gift on you, and you feel happy. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. So the problem here is someone is putting their fish into your dream. It's their symbology, which works great for them, and when they think of their fairy queen, my God, they light up like a Christmas tree. Of course, they expect everyone else to. But symbolism doesn't work that way. You don't have other people's dreams, do you? When you go to sleep at night, do you call up your friends and check with them, like, which dream can I borrow you from tonight? Because, you know, last night you seem to have some really cool ones, and mine are a little dull of late, so can I borrow yours? You don't. Your unconscious furnishes whatever you need at that point in time, in your own period of evolution. So you can't start using other people's symbols, you have to use your own. But the other problem then is what do we mean by your own? See, most people, when they try and customize symbols, ask and say, would you like this symbol? Oh, that sounds great. And you try it out, and it works much better than someone imposing one on you. But you have your conscious mind, and you have your unconscious mind. And your conscious mind will select certain symbols that it's familiar with and will like. And your unconscious mind will select other symbols that you will not consciously be familiar with. And you may not even like some of them, but you will learn from them. And that is the important thing. You have to allow your unconscious mind to do the work, and then it becomes easy for you. Now, the only hard part in the whole process is getting to trust your unconscious mind enough that the right symbols, the right archetypal forces will emerge from inside you to achieve whatever it is that you've been wanting to achieve in that particular session. So as you may have gathered by now, when we talk about the ASH method, the A stands for archetypal forces. This is going more in the sort of Jungian tradition. We're talking about things that are inside of us, or rather, should we say, tendencies we all have as human beings that can express themselves in different ways. We're going to create a stable mental platform to allow those forces to express themselves symbolically to you so that they have meaning to you, so that they can actually have a chance to change you as a human being. That's the S part of the ASH program. The H stands for the hero's journey because how many of you are familiar with the idea of the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell, things like that? The reason I borrowed that term is because really it fits very much what we were doing here. The hero in the Campbell-style myth somehow has to go through a process where he enters an alternate type of reality. The adventure begins there. He has to confront something, gain the boon, the power of some sort, and then returns with that power back to the regular world so that life becomes different. That's the rough cut, short version of the whole thing. And that is exactly the same process you'll be doing. Whenever you're going to do work on yourself this way, you're going to basically enter the unconscious territory. You're going to be entering it in a safe way. In other words, you're going to be building up processes to allow you to enter safely. So whether things that you're interacting with are positive or negative, you'll be safe regardless. The good news is your unconscious mind has a lifetime of practice protecting you. There is an amount of things that you have forgotten just because your conscious mind can't handle it yet. There's an amount of things you've tried to get access to and been denied because your conscious mind is not ready to deal with it yet. Some of you maybe have seen a therapist or hypnotherapist to deal with a problem and maybe even failed, which is fantastic. And I mean that because the fact that you failed is a sign that your unconscious mind didn't trust that particular therapist enough to let that particular cat out of that particular bag. So you have protective mechanisms in place. And whilst we'll be showing you how to open doors to get around those protective mechanisms, you can only do that to the extent that you develop other protective mechanisms so you can do so safely. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yes.
Yeah?